Don't forget, you can listen to Good Things. We are streaming live over at supertalk.fm. We're also streaming from that SuperTalk Mississippi app. We hope you have downloaded that. You can always find us on your local SuperTalk Mississippi radio station. And don't forget, you can watch us too when we are on your computer, your mobile device. Just head on over to SuperTalk TV. And in each April, there's always a week set aside for National Library Week. And today, during that week, it is National Library Workers Day to recognize their valuable contributions. And today, we're going to bring awareness to all of the libraries we have in our great state and what they're up to and the good things that they have going on all year, not just in April. Tracy Carr joins us. She's with the Mississippi Library Commission to tell us a little bit more. Hey, Tracy.
Hey, Rebecca. How are you?
I'm doing well. Happy National Library Week. I didn't realize it was the whole week when I talked to you earlier today. So you guys have the whole week to celebrate.
We have the whole week, and each day is a different focus. And today, like you said, is National Library Workers Day. So very exciting stuff.
So I always love the opportunity to highlight the library system here in Mississippi because I think they're unsung heroes, but also they are a wealth of information and activities for families that we just often forget about or we just simply don't know about. So kind of explain how the library system's set up here in Mississippi, or if you know how many we got, or how does it work in terms of where they're all nestled?
Yeah, sure. The state has 53 systems, and there is public library service in every county. Now, in the case of Issaquena County, they partner with Sharkey County, so that is one system. So some of the library systems are single county systems, some are two county, and some are more than that, and we call those regionals. So everyone in the state should be able to reasonably get to a physical library location. And so there are about 235 branches. And I say about because sometimes one's closed, and I may not have that exact number off the top of my head. But among all of those systems, there is a collective almost 5 million print books.
Wow.
Now, while libraries aren't just books, they are about books. The state also has a interlibrary loan system, which just means that if you are in Carroll County and you want a book that someone has in Lamar County, well, then they can loan it to your library system. So really, Mississippians have 5 million books at their fingertips.
And is it still true, Tracy, like as long as you live in that county, it's free or very minimum for you to get your library card and be and have, access to all of that?
Absolutely. It is mandated actually in statute that to be a public library, the service is free. And now that doesn't mean that some kind of special service or maybe there's a program with expensive materials you might have to give, contribute towards, but all you have to have is some kind of proof of residency to get a library card, and then that opens up the whole world to you. And then some systems allow people in neighboring counties to get a card there as well, which is really convenient. So I work at a library. I have library cards at two different systems, and sometimes I still have to interlibrary loan something because, there's just some book I want to read, and, those three libraries can't do it. So it's just a wonderful resource to really expand that service to everybody.
You talked about events or special things that you may have to, help contribute to. I don't think people realize, those that do realize, look at their libraries as godsends, particularly for like family events or things to do with their kids during the day. And then others, it's like they just don't know or realize all of the programming that goes on all year long at their local libraries. I know you don't know for all 200 and something, you can't tell me everything that they do, but kind of overarching, what are those things beyond just the books or bringing books and literature in a different way or education do our local libraries do throughout the year for their communities?
Yeah, libraries really serve, we love the books, obviously, but libraries serve as community centers. They're really the only place in a community where you can walk in the door for free, hang out as long as you want, and participate in your community. So yesterday with the eclipse, we got a ton of Eclipse classes that we gave to every public library, so they were able to have Eclipse parties in their branches. Like you said, there's story time, for little kids, but there's all these other programs for teens and adults and seniors. Knitting clubs. There's always a good book club, and I just heard about some variations on book clubs. So one library has a murder mystery book club where that's all they read, which I love. And then Lamar County has a cookbook club where they all sign up to make one of the recipes out of a set cookbook. And then they have their meeting, and they all bring something to eat, which sounds like a lot of fun. A trend that we've seen on TikTok that the Starkville Public Library has is a silent book club, which I love it. It's kind of out there, but it makes total sense. It is a club where you bring some snacks, and then you're just quiet, and you're reading your own book. The end. That's the program.
Can I bring my kids? Make them part of that?
Exactly. It's just a great way to capture the introverts in your society, that may not want to just sit around and talk about things with people they don't know. You can still be a part of something and still have your individuality. But outside of book clubs, there are gardening programs and writing workshops. Chair yoga is one that's really popular. And, of course, those computer classes. Computer access is a huge part of what libraries do. There are over 2,500 public access computers in the state, and that means a computer that people in that community can walk in the door and use for free. Wi-Fi is also a huge thing that libraries provide to their communities. This was the fiscal year 22 stats. The 23 stats are still being worked on, but there were 2.7 million Wi-Fi sessions in public libraries. That's just an amazing service that libraries provide to their communities. So also in that computer world, senior computer classes are really popular, and Sunflower County Library now offers one-on-one assistance. So you call and make an appointment. Someone who just needs special help on one thing, like I need help with my resume, or I need help with learning Microsoft Word, or I don't know how to do email. You can make an appointment and get one-on-one assistance, which is such a great service.
Had no idea about that, Tracy, and I feel like we're all learning something new that could be happening at our local library. Does each library, all 200 and something of them, have their own website? So, like, if you're listening to Good Things, regardless of the county that you're in, can you go and seek out, like, what's happening at your library if some of these events or things sounded interesting?
Absolutely. All the libraries have a website, and most of them have Facebook. Facebook is just such an easy way to quickly update what's going on. And so if you're out there in the world and in the state and you're not familiar with your library, drop in or head to Facebook and find out what's happening at your library.
I think, too, I'm kind of in that small children age, Tracy, but I'm glad you brought up those that are maybe retired or, in our wiser years, that there's still all these opportunities to socialize and to also continue to learn or to just get out and be in community and fellowship. Too, I found, Tracy, some of those that are around here in central Mississippi, the libraries specifically, have phenomenal meeting spaces. And I know a lot of small places, small organizations have a hard time finding just the right spot for maybe their board meetings or, sort of their things. We have found, at least as the dietitians, that our libraries are very gracious hosts and great spots, too, to sort of host those smaller meetings, too. So, never forget about your local library. Tracy, it is all about National Library Workers Day. We didn't get to that. Can you hang with us? We can get to the actual workers coming up next here on Good Things. Welcome back to Good Things, streaming live over at SuperTalk.fm. We're also streaming from that SuperTalk Mississippi app. Of course, you can always find us, too, on your local SuperTalk Mississippi radio station. And I hope today you're going to reach out and find your local library because it is National Library Week. And today we've got Tracy Carr with the Mississippi Library Commission on to talk about the fact that today, within that week, is National Library Workers Day, which you are. So I guess is it Happy National Libraries Workers Day? Tracy, I wouldn't say congratulations, but...
Yeah. I think just saying happy is the correct salutation.
So how many, I guess, library workers, do you know that by chance that we have in Mississippi?
I do know that. Librarians, we know stuff. There are nearly 800 folks who work in public libraries in the state. So we've got a lot of folks, like all of those programs that I talked about in the first section, all those computer classes and story times, all of those could not happen without our library workers. Everyone who, picks the books for story time or does the story time or mans the circ desk or gives recommendations for a book or catalogs the books or shelves the books. Like there are lots and lots of steps and lots of different skill sets that are necessary for a library to function. So I am a librarian, obviously, and a library worker, but there's really something for every kind of personality in a library. If you're extroverted, if you're introverted, if all kinds of skills.
You just have to love the love of books, but also the love of community, and I think connecting with people, because that's exactly why people come into the library. I mean, not everybody wants to connect and carry on conversation because they just want to read or sort of be, introverts and extroverts have their place, but is that connection to take a recommendation or to be friendly enough to be able to ask, like, hey, the Dewey Decimal System's beyond my level of education. Help me find, what I'm looking for, or, and sort of that kind of thing. So being personable is part of that too. I meant to ask, the Mississippi Library Commission, are the schools librarians in that, like our county schools, or is that like a separate? Is that a separate thing?
Yeah, that's a separate animal altogether. That is, the school libraries are under the purview of the Department of Education.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I don't have their numbers.
No. But I think but they're still library workers, and I feel like your librarians are kind of like those special teachers within your students' academic career. I know my daughter's always loved her librarian because they don't really give tests, so they can open them up to a world of books and introduce them to reading and sort of but still educating and all that. So they play a very special role within children's education experience. So at least that's been our experience up till the 6th grade, for sure. So how did you get into the world of being a librarian, Tracy? What led you down this path of making it a career for yourself?
Well, for me, my son is in high school, and sometimes when I'm helping him with a paper, and he's like, "How can you do this?" I'm like, "It's the only thing I can do. The only thing I can do is read and write." So I started as an English major. That's a really common path for librarians. But what is really, really wonderful, I think, about library world in general is that there isn't a clear path. Like, well, a lot of people have, English degrees. Most people kind of fall into libraries, and that was true of me as well. I didn't want to be a librarian when I was a child, but it is such a good fit for the right kind of person who is all about service. It's a service industry. We're here to help. We don't do anything bad. We only help people. That's all we do. So whether that is help with information, helping someone with their family tree, helping someone with a paper or a business proposal, or, how to file their tax. I mean, we don't do taxes, but we provide. There's a lot of AARP does some volunteer work in public libraries to help people with their taxes. So we're just here to help, and if a library worker doesn't know the answer, we'll find someone who does. So, you just have to have a love of service and information, and, Rebecca, you could be a librarian.
Oh no, I'm not quiet enough. Absolutely not. That would be a
Now, libraries are not just quiet spaces anymore. There are maker spaces where people are, building things, and there's all kinds of noises that happen in the library now. And you know what? I haven't had to shush anyone in the last 20 years of my career.
I love that. You would have to shush me at some point, I'm sure, but that's okay. That is also the calm and gentleness that can come out of the right librarian. But I also think every family who has young children should at least allow them the opportunity of having a library card and getting that experience. I know going in with my oldest, we're in Rankin County system, and seeing her get to go up and sort of give her name, and she gets the little card that's for kids, and then the thrill of I can choose whatever I want, and then obviously too the responsibility of sort of bringing it back. So from y'all's perspective, how welcoming but also important is it that kiddos get their first library card?
Oh, yeah, we love it when children come to get their cards in public libraries. I mean, what better way to instill that, no, this is a relationship you're going to have forever. The library is here for you from birth to the very end. And like you were talking about, how exciting it is to get your first library card, and it has your name on it, and it's associated with you. I know that we have someone here who used to work at a public library, and she would tell the child, now, you can have 2 books, and you don't have to pay a fine, but if Mommy loses her book, she has to pay, and they would love that. So a lot of libraries have a special kids card that has a different limits on it to kind of build that responsibility. You don't want to, if an adult can check out 30 books, you don't want a child to check out 30 books also. That is too many for someone who is 5 to keep up with. But starting them with 2 and getting them used to that process and having it be a part of that routine. We know that children love routines. I think adults love routines too. But getting children into that routine of every other Saturday you go to the library, you pick out your 2 books, or there's DVDs, there's all kinds of things. And many libraries, and I think at this point it's safe to say most libraries, offer a whole suite of things electronically. So I was telling a young cousin, I was like, no, you only have to go to the library once, and then you get all of these ebooks and e-audiobooks. You never have to go back. Just go in one time. And that's true. If e-audio and ebooks, if that's your thing, find out if your public library offers ebooks, because again, that is a wonderful way to really support your library. We get the statistics that we use are based on usage. And so we really want people to use their libraries. That's actually very good for us. If someone comes in and then we never see them again and all they do is use ebooks, that's wonderful. Or if someone comes in every day and uses a computer, we like to help people.
One of the misconceptions, Tracy, I think for libraries is that maybe y'all don't, it's a bunch of old books that are there to check out. Do y'all stay new and fresh with what's being published for those that like fiction particularly?
Absolutely. Here at the Library Commission, we help libraries with, training and support. We offer advice, and we also help them with things that are difficult. And sometimes it's called weeding when you go through your collection and see what is crusty and dusty and needs to go. And there's a process for that. But yeah, that's a service that we provide. But I'll tell you, most libraries are on top of it because it's hard to justify when you pull out a cruddy book and you think, would I want to lay in bed and read this? And if the answer is no, it has to go. Sometimes a community will get very upset when there are books that are being weeded because they feel strongly that books are precious, and they are. But it's the information in the book, not necessarily the physical book. So we have to. There's only so much room on the shelf, and books are published every day. So if we want to keep nice, fresh ones in the library, sometimes we got to let things go. And that can be difficult, but it's necessary.
But it also keeps it fresh and for you to come back and enjoy your library again and again and see new things. So, Tracy, where do we go if we want to find out for the first time if there's a public library in our area?
Yeah, I think actually you could just Google library near me, and that would probably bring it up. But you could also go to the Library Commission's website at mlc.lib.ms.us, and we have a directory of Mississippi libraries. You could also call us up, tell us where you are, and we'll get you connected to your public library.
Well, I appreciate your time today, Tracy. Happy National Library Week, and to all the 800 people in Mississippi who work there as well, we celebrate you. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right, you guys stick with us. We got more for you coming up next.